Every night he sits there and wears a frown. He attracted some attention. He found the fourth dimension. But he ain't got rhythms, no one's with him. Loneliest man in town. Oh, lonely man is he, bending over those books. His wife and family, well, they keep giving him dirty looks, 'cause he ain't got rhythm. When they call him up, it's to call him down. With the daring navigator, in sight of the equator. But he ain't got rhythms, no one's with him. Loneliest man in town.
Is Alison Affleck, and we've put this together very, very quickly. Good afternoon, Alison.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, you found us eventually.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was quite appropriate. The song I was playing was I Found You by The Wanted when you came in.
Yeah, unfortunately the sat-nav sent me all the way down into a housing estate, so I was a little bit lost.
Lost in Knitting Grange, as they call it. Now, Alison, tell us a wee bit about yourself.
Oh my goodness, I'll try and give you the very short version.
The microwave version.
Yeah, the microwave, ready and easy to digest version. I was born in Dundee, and then I moved to California, to San Diego, where I lived for a very long time. I'm not going to say exactly how long, because then you'll know my age. But then I moved back to Edinburgh, and I've been reestablishing myself in various ways, such as going back to university and spending a lot of time on my music.
Mm-hmm.
And in between all that, I've been quite active in the dance community in Edinburgh. And I've been working with the Unicorn in Dundee to establish a new jazz venue there and called Jazz and Blues on the Upper Decks. And that is the Dundee Jazz and Blues Club.
Great stuff. Now, obviously, it's the jazz and the blues that you do. I've had various different jazz bands and jazz artists and blues bands on the show. And what got you into that scene originally?
Oh, gosh. So this goes way back into the dusty past. When I lived in California, I worked with Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats. And that is where...
One of my favourites.
Yeah.
I am not worthy.
He was a lovely guy. To be honest, I didn't see him very often. But I did a lot of rockabilly stuff back in those days. And then I got into a band called the Squirrel Nut Zippers. I heard them one day. I thought, that's really great sound. So that started my love affair with traditional jazz, Dixie, ragtime, the really early stuff that to me has a real attitude that isn't necessarily present in other types of jazz. I'm not saying it isn't, but for me, it really spoke to me. And, you know, the rest is history, so they say. I've been listening to a lot of Annette Hanshaw, Mildred Bailey, June Christie, who arguably isn't quite traditional jazz, but it just started a long time ago, and it's been snowballing ever since.
And I've found over the last few years that, jazz and blues have started to have more play in sort of mainstream music. They're starting to have more of an influence. For example, Caro Emerald and that style is coming on, and it's becoming, quite popular with certain parts. I was going to say younger people, but people as well who are in my generation who are saying, it's so good to hear this coming through in the charts.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, to be honest with you, right now there's another kind of revival. I mean, quotation fingers for that one. There's, like you said, Cara Emerald. Then you've got someone like Machina Lake and the Little Bighorns from New Orleans. And she's been doing this a long time. I got a lot of respect for that woman. But she's hit the crest of the wave. And she's not the only one. Of course, there's other bands such as the Dixie Six and whatnot who are local. And then there's all kinds of stuff going on in the US right now with Pokey Lafarge, Miss Jubilee. I definitely agree. There is a lot more coming into the charts, and I think that's fantastic. And there, of course, there's the electro jazz stuff that's going on. But to me, there's nothing like getting down to the roots of it, so to speak, which sounds awfully generic. But there's nothing like the old style, the old stuff, and there's a lot of incredible musicians in Edinburgh and beyond who've been doing this for such a long time, and it's great because I'm hoping they get to have a little bit more of the limelight, not just about the youngsters. It's also having respect to the older musicians who, they did this, the last revival, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. And, there is such a good scene around Edinburgh, not maybe so much a great scene in Glasgow and over the west side of Scotland, but there is, the scene up into Dundee, and there's loads of guys like Main Street Blues who continue to go up there and play up there and sell out venues.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, one of the most exciting things is the fact that we can really all help each other with this. There's so many bands out there that don't get heard enough. I mean, of course, being a little controversial, you could say there are a lot of bands who maybe get heard too much, but I think the most important thing is to keep the music alive, keep it local, and bring people in. One of the reasons I started up Stomping at the Summer Hall, which, by the way, the opening night is Friday, the 3rd of May. I need to get as many people down as possible to celebrate some good old-fashioned Dixie and traditional type of jazz. The main reason for this was to provide a stage, so to speak, for up-and-coming bands who maybe aren't getting to play. They're not getting heard. And there's so much that they can contribute to the dance scene, not just the dance scene, but just in general. It's really toe-tapping good music. And again, the reason that I got involved with co-founding the Dundee Jazz and Blues Club on the Frigate Unicorn is to provide a stage, because as you know, there's so many venues closing down, and we really need to try and keep it going, because musicians need to work, people need to hear music, and the community needs to feel that they're involved in some way or other.
Well, if people want to dance as well.
That's true.
Back to the old dance hall days.
Yes,
absolutely. Bring back the pally, that's what I say.
Definitely.
The pally to dance. Most of our older, I'll say older, some of our older generation listeners will remember the pally to dance in Edinburgh, down at Fountain Bridge.
Let's bring it back.
There's got
to be some investors somewhere. Come on.
It's empty at the moment. Somebody should open it up. Now, we're going to squeeze in as much of your music as we possibly can. We're going to play number 2 in the track. Tell us a bit about this one.
Number 2. This is What a Little Moonlight Can Do, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's nice and upbeat and sassy. And that was written by Harry Woods and someone who's become quite influential to me, Ralph Rainier. And it was in 1935, I believe. I could be off by a year or two, but it's a great fast number, and I hope you enjoy it.
Excellent.
just won't utter the words. I love you. What little moonlight can do. Wait a while till the moonbeam comes peeping through. Y'all get bold, you can't resist him, and all you say when you have kissed him is ooh, what little moonlight can do. Ooh, what little moonlight can do.
If you have the higher rate mobility component and would like